storage unit garage. He's blown a head gasket on his LS1, so we're going to swap that out, or at least take it apart anyway. When you're on a power adder and you blow a head gasket, you got aluminum heads, sometimes it melts the head. Like on my LT1, when I had a 200 shot on it and the crank sensor went out, it melted a spot on the head, but I had an iron block, so it didn't hurt the block. Well, he's got an aluminum block, you know, LS1, so hopefully it didn't hurt the block, so we'll get it in there. But it blowed the head gasket so bad when we took it off the trailer. We took it off the trailer here and we couldn't get it back started because it was hydrolocked, where it had so much water and so. That's his little storage unit garage. It goes from that gutter all the way over to that gutter. And this is Austin's garage. See? You could fit like 4 cars in here if you wanted to.
If you had to, yeah.
One there, one there, one there, and one there.
You could fit 6 in here if you do it this way.
No, you couldn't. You put 1, 2, 3, 4.
You could get 4 in here comfortably.
It's 30 foot, so well, not these cars.
If you pulled it all the way up, you could get one back there, and one here, and one there. The ceiling ain't very high. It'd be hard to pull a motor. I don't know, if you took the hood off, you could get the car. I don't know, it'd be close.
No, you got put the thing in here and lift it up.
But it does help to have a concrete floor, because working on gravel sucks. All right, we'll get to work on this thing. Hopefully, like I said, hopefully it didn't melt the block.
If I did, we got another sitting right over there.
He's got this block, plus we got Brandon's 5.3 over there. Well, that's an aluminum block too.
Yeah, that's a Gen 4 block.
That's a Gen 4 aluminum 5.3. And it's got the flat top pistons, don't it? Yeah, it's a 5.3 with the flat top pistons. Got some heads up here. What heads are these? $7.99 heads. So it's pretty low on coolant. I'd say that's all in the cylinder, but there's no water in the oils. So it just busted enough to where it would get over on the in the cylinder. There's definitely water in the cylinder. It hydrolocked when we tried to get it off the trailer. Wouldn't even turn over. All right, we got the valve covers off.
Large, I didn't do it.
Got the belt off. Got the fuel pump regulator was over here. The alternator off. That should be it. And then now we took the fuel rail off. Now we're taking the intake off, and on the turbo shouldn't have to do anything but take these flanges off and take the exhaust off. But take the intake off, then we'll take the rockers and push rods out. We'll be about to the heads. Intake, rockers, push rods, and then the exhaust.
Wires on the back of the head.
And then and then there's a bunch of ground wires that bolt to the back of this head. It's got to come off. Yeah, and then his pulleys and brackets and stuff. They're all after. Well, I think somebody made them, didn't they? Somebody made his.
That's an actual kit for the alternator bracket, but I'm not sure about this tensioner here. I know it's aftermarket, but
I'm not sure where he got all this at to make the alternator and the
William made
it on.
That's already good.
Yeah. Then when you take your intake off, lift it up and pull it up forward to reach back there and unplug your map sensor. And then your brake booster should pull forward enough to get to it. And there's also another line back here which you don't have hooked up, which is the goes down here somewhere, but it's the vacuum for the vents in your car. The vents in your car, to change them from defrost to, you know, blah blah blah. It's vacuum controlled, and it runs back here on this side over here. But yeah, when you pull that out of there, you got to keep that in mind. But making progress. Going pretty quick. All right, intake's off. Now we're going to take the coolant crossover out. because that bolts to the heads. Then the pulley, and the exhaust, rockers, and push rods. I'm gonna go ahead and start taking these rockers out while he's taking the steam pipe off. Alright, so he got the coolant crossover off. I took the rockers and the push rods out. Just taking anything that bolts to the front of the head is going to have to come off. And I just took the rocker arms off all in one piece. That way you can put them all back on, all in one piece. And then now we just need to take the exhaust off. On that side over there, we got to contend with the oil dipstick tube. And we had a real hard time getting that oil dipstick tube in and out. When you run these forward like this, on the 5.3 and 4.8, you can use the truck one. It goes right in there. But the LS1's got the hole in a little different spot. Why, I don't know. But yeah. So we have to take the old dipstick tube out and then take the flanges off the front of the exhaust. And then just unbolt the exhaust and take the bolts out for the head. And we'll see what the damage is. I know there's a cylinder full of water. All right, Austin has the exhaust off, the dipstick tube out, and we got all the bolts out. We loosened them all up about a quarter a turn, followed by the torque pattern, and we went back through them and loosened another half turn following the torque pattern. Then we took all the bolts out, and the bolts do stink like it was burning antifreeze on this side, so it might be this side. And that bolt didn't want to unscrew. Oh no, it's the gasket just stuck together. Oh God. Well, it's off. Pull that gasket off her. And we'll take a look at this and see where it was leaking at. Hopefully it was this side. These layered gaskets, it's hard to tell. You got to look in between them. Yeah. Like on mine, you couldn't even tell where it was leaking. But it was definitely leaking. I don't think it is this side because it hydrolocked one cylinder and none of these cylinders are full of water.
This one is.
Well, that's got a little water in it. That's just from where you took the head off.
Yeah.
No, whatever cylinder it is full of water. Full of water.
Which it could have bled down inside the oil pan to the rings. I don't know how tight they are.
No.
200,000 miles.
I doubt that would have happened.
Next
I bet whatever cylinder it is, because it wouldn't even turn the motor over. It was locked. You'd be able to find out real quick, take these spark plugs out and turn the motor over. See which one of them. Well, we're about to take this side off anyway, but I think it's on this side. But I'm gonna look through that gasket here in a minute, but whatever cylinder it is, it's full of water. And believe it or not, the water don't seep past. There was no water in the oil either. We checked the dipstick, remember? So yeah, whatever cylinder it is, it's full of water, man. Full of water.
This side should take.
And I hope the starter ain't strong enough to bend the rod. We'll check that too. I'm gonna have you turn the motor over and make sure all these pistons come up to the same deck height. And what you can usually tell by how far they come up, that top ring. Yeah, you can tell just by the discoloration. We'll turn it over and make sure. Starter usually won't bend the rod when it hydrolocks, but I took the rocker arms off, man. That's about all I did. It's all you, dude. So I'm looking over this side and looking over the head gasket and the head. I don't think it was this side that was doing it. You can smell burnt fluid coolant over here. Everything looks pretty good. Look at that, this LS1, they don't even have valve reliefs in them. They're just straight flat tops. Well, got the exhaust off this side, pulling the head off. We still got the ground wires bolted to the back of the head because we don't have a 15 millimeter wrench. We have a 15 millimeter wrench to get back there. Let go. That gasket wants to stick.
Let me get that off real quick.
Now we got it off far enough we can get a socket on it.
There's a lot of coolant in that very back cylinder, the one I said I thought was bad. See it?
Yeah. It's got more coolant than these, and most of the water would have came out when we took this head off. So that might be the culprit.
I didn't know who the freak it was. Washer fell down in the cylinder.
Yeah, that back cylinder's full of water. Yep, that's the one. Back cylinder's full of water. So it's definitely that back cylinder. Look at this. It eat that gasket up. That's the culprit. Look at that. Yeah, that is definitely the culprit right there. That back cylinder is full of water. The good thing is, it don't look like it got the block. That's a good sign. It just got the gasket. So the block's still good, but we'll put a straight edge on the block. Just right there, make absolutely sure. And then the head, it don't look like it hurt the head either. But we'll put a straight edge on that too.
And then we're gonna sell.
And then, which it wouldn't matter if it torched the head or not, because we put those $7.99 heads on it. But everything looks good. We'll put a straight edge back here. I should have brought a straight edge with me. I don't think he's got one. Make sure that's nice and flat. Clean all the cylinders out. Put some Vaseline in them until he gets a gasket.
You got Vaseline?
And we'll put it all back together. Yeah, here's your washer. It fell in the head. It went down in the cylinder. Don't lose those.
I gotta find them ones we dropped just now.
But yeah, that one's a no-brainer. It blowed that one good. I mean, it blowed it good. Look, it ate right through it. It ate through it good. So it was leaking from this, one of these water jackets. This water jacket right here. That's the water jacket right there. It was coming out of. It's probably coming out of that one too, because it's indented right there. But he blew that one good. But the good news is, I was worried that it would have torched the head or torched the block where it's aluminum, but everything looks good. Just clean the block up, put a straight edge on it, make sure everything's flat, and put it back together. But we're also gonna turn the motor over, make sure we didn't bend that rod, because we did hop it. We did lock the motor up. We got so much water in it, it wouldn't even turn the motor. The starter wouldn't turn the motor over. So I'm gonna have him turn the motor over, make sure that piston comes all the way up the same height as the rest of them do. Plus turning the motor over will help us get the water out of the cylinders that came out of the heads, and then we'll put Vaseline in the cylinders. Alright, we brought the piston up to top dead center. It looks just like the rest of them. They come all the way up. Just about zero deck on these. So when we hydrolocked it, turned it over with a starter, it didn't bend the rod. So now, what in the world? Dude, your cylinders are cracked over here. Something's going on. Yeah, you cracked the cylinder. Look at that. That's cracks. How in the world did that get in there? Yeah, those are cracks.
I wish we could have gone that house.
Well, that ain't good.
They redone it.
Yeah, those are cracks.
It's
Zoom
on
in.
Broadway. They redone the house completely on the inside. They got everything out of it and redone it, and they only got.
Yeah,
it
my
for
fingernail hangs up
96,000.
on it.
No, 96,000.
It did need a lot of work though.
Yeah, but they redone it.
Yeah, dude, those are cracks.
We're just gonna put it together and sand it.
He said he's gonna put together and send it anyway.
Okay.
It's got the same thing on this side, both on the front cylinder. I wonder if that's just where the ring lands. Well, the gap wouldn't be that big. I don't know. Can you catch that with your fingernail?
Yeah.
It's worse on this side. Does anybody know what that is? And they look like cracks to me.
Let's send her on to God.
Somebody hit the comments. I've never seen anything like that. But those are cracks. No question about it. Well, there you guys have it. We're going to put a gasket on it and send it. Stay tuned for the results. But I think we got that iron block in my carport. I think we're going to take that apart and hone it, as long as it didn't have a spun main. And then probably take the internals out of that Gen 4 aluminum block and put it in the iron block, and put the 24X reluctor in it, and then just put that together for whenever this one fails. But yeah, like and subscribe and stay tuned. See how this works out.